Hey everybody, good afternoon. Today is Thursday, October 20th, 2022. This is Ben Capozzi with Broad Shoulders Farm in beautiful Halifax County, Virginia, USDA Grow Zone 7B, right on the cusp of 8. And I've just got a little bit of time left here before I have to take off for the day, but I'm working in the June and October paddock, putting in some plants, and I thought you guys might be interested in that. Some berry bushes and a couple other things. So if that's the sort of thing that you're interested in, stick around because that's what's coming up next. All right, so this looks really rough, but this is the June and October paddock. This is part of the 4 paddocks that the poultry rotate through as they work their way through the orchard. I kept them out of here this season. As you can tell, it got really overgrown. And my dog Ellis came through and tore up the fence in not one but 2 places, which was frustrating, but that's okay. It still allowed me to get some stuff done and see some of the plants that have survived. This paddock surrounds this house, this abandoned structure here on the farm, but my father-in-law still needs access to get in there, and he usually comes in off the road here and over there. So what I did is I backed the whole thing with an actual fence, welded wire fencing, only 4 feet tall, but so that's on the west and the north side. And then for what's going to come around the front, it's all going to be the netting, and I need to get some netting that is not busted up like this, so I've got to replace that. But what we have here along the front is there's a service berry or 2 in here, so these are things that fruit in June, and then there is a Hansen's bush cherry, which I thought was dead many times, but is actually doing quite well. And then as we get down here to, there's, believe it or not, there's a plan for kind of a windrow along here. And so we go from the Hansen bush cherry to an Arapaho blackberry that I thought was long gone. I thought it was just eaten up. I planted that last year and I thought it was just gone, but as I was cleaning up in here, I found it. So that made it. And then I'm just putting in some more blueberries in this paddock. So this is an O'Neill and that one's a Legacy. I need to put another O'Neill right there-ish, and then there's another Legacy. These are our 2 earliest varieties that we've got, our early June varieties. There's another very small Arapaho blackberry that I just planted down there for today. And you can also see in between here are, like for instance, we talk about that Hansen's bush cherry. Well, right here is one that survived. This is a Nanking bush cherry with the white cherries. So I'm excited that that one's doing well. Looks like the main stalk clearly died back, but this is doing well. The ground looks disturbed because I pulled up a giant clump of grass that was choking this thing out, and I flipped the sod over, so let that rot over the winter and nourish that. The bush cherries are surprisingly tough. And then there should be, like I was saying, this is where another O'Neill blueberry will go. There's I'm pretty sure that's a red Nanking bush cherry there that has done pretty well. I've had caging to protect it from the geese. A lot of these things just got completely obliterated by the geese over time, and it became a little frustrating to try and maintain this, so I kind of took the season off in this area to really think about how it was going. But so you have an alternating row of bush cherries and blueberries. Stickweed I took out. Then as we round the corner, this was an Ichiki Kaijiro, an early and delicious Asian persimmon variety, but the geese destroyed it, and now it's sent up these 3 suckers, so I'm going to let it do its thing. When they get to be a decent size, I'll cut 2 of them back, and I'll graft something else onto here, another persimmon variety. And then up here, as we go up the bank, I've got an alternating pattern of river locust, Amorpha fruticosa, which is basically just a nitrogen fixing, non-thorny small shrub that is for pollinating and for making mulch. That's its purpose here. It doesn't yield an edible crop, but it goes river locust, and then hazelnut, and then river locust, and then hachia Asian persimmon, and then river locust, and then hazelnut, and then river locust, and then Asian persimmon, and then river locust, and then Asian persimmon, then hazelnut. So that's the pattern that's going up here. And as I know this looks ragged as heck, but I can see in my head the day when it actually looks really nice. So maybe you'll stick around for that. But, and as it goes up here, I got all this fencing in and wrapped around the back just this week, actually. This makes me very pleased, especially the stuff in the back. But so you can see there's a persimmon. There's a spot for an Amorpha fruticosa. It was kind of leafy, and the geese came through and whacked it out. Part of the reason I needed to finish this fencing was to keep you monsters, whom I love, out of this whole area. And then along the edge here, I've got more blueberries. And this is another O'Neill, one of my earliest varieties. It looks like crap because I let it dry out, but the branches are still quite green. This is fine, it just looks ugly, but I gave it a deep water, deep soaking as I put it in the ground here. So it'll be back next year, no problem. So we go O'Neill, Legacy, Premier, Powder Blue, and then Tiff Blue is back there. Excuse me. And that is my main order of the blueberries here. These don't all fruit in June, obviously, or October. This is more kind of a mixed row of various ripening times that I just kind of want to be able to see. And also, as I walk through the lane here, I can just grab some throughout the season, which makes me happy. But there are some, obviously the O'Neill and the Legacy, that will give the birds something in June and July. I've got to get this Premier in the ground. That's its spot. And then there's the Powder Blue. And then there's a Tiff Blue up here just to show you what the geese do. This one looked just like the others, but I planted it last year. And the geese absolutely decimated it, and I was gonna just dig it up and replace it, but it's still alive. And blueberry bushes are like 18 bucks a piece. So I'm like, okay, do your thing. I've got the fencing up now to isolate and protect you. So it should be fine. This one river locust plant, this one Amorpha fruticosa, did the best of all the ones that were in this row. For whatever reason, the geese and the ducks did not destroy it. And so that gives you some idea of what this plant is like. It looks a little bit, with those compound leaves, like a black locust. But it's not thorny. It's a suckering shrub, but it doesn't spread a lot like black locust will. So these are the ones in between the persimmons and the hazelnuts. Clearing off the bank, which is full of honeysuckle and brambles, I was able to uncover some of the apple trees that I planted in here last year. I think that's like a limber twig, and there's like a Canard's Choice, and there's a Yates in the back. There's a couple along the perimeter. Got all this in. There will be a gate here. Wrap around all this bramble. Got to go. Clean it out. There'll be a second gate back here, and then this goes all the way down to that corner, and that is where we'll get picked up again by the electronet fencing to fence in the whole front side. And I'm doing the electronet again so that my father-in-law has access to his building if he wants to pull a truck up to it or anything. So I can't have any kind of hardscaping to block that off. Also found a good spot here for, I think this is a Pifer, is the variety, American persimmon. Fruits in October. And this paddock walks all the way around here. What I'm in right now is basically the lane. The geese and the waterfowl will be constrained to enjoying the lanes in between and around the paddocks, whereas, again, paddock completely overrun, but the chickens will be placed in the paddocks. All right, so here we are in the southeast corner. You can see, so the fencing will go all the way around, and I've got all that area in here to plant stuff. I've actually got a Seguin chestnut that I'm going to put here on the corner to give them a different kind of smaller, more edible chestnut in addition to the hazels on the other side. And I've got a row that I started developing over there that right now exists outside of the paddock perimeter, but I may be able to expand it and bring it in. But it's got some more limber twig and a couple other apple varieties, and I may put another chestnut in there as well, just to help kind of keep this one happy with pollination. So that's what's going on right now with the June-October paddock. Obviously, I've got a lot of cleaning up to do. There's like Tree of Heaven that's kind of naturalizing around here, and you know, ultimately, I'm not sure what the plan is for this structure. I'd like to take it down. I don't want to talk too loudly, so I don't want to hurt the house's feelings, but I'd like to just level it and rebuild eventually what may be like like a farm store, where we could actually have folks, or maybe set up a small building that could actually be where I get my baking done, so I don't have to do that at home so often. But anyhow, that's a plan for a few years down the road. But right now it starts with getting these plants in the ground. So that's what I'm working on. If you have questions, comments, concerns, helpful critique, they're always welcome. You can follow the farm at Broad Shoulders Farm on Facebook and Instagram. Wherever you are, whatever you are up to, I hope that you and those you care for are happy, healthy, and well. And I will talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.